He was born as Temujin in the harsh, endless steppes of Mongolia around 1162. Life was brutal. His father was poisoned when he was still a boy, his family abandoned, and survival was a daily struggle. Kidnapped, starving, beaten, betrayed. And yet, he survived. By his teens, Temujin had already begun uniting the scattered Mongol tribes, not just through friendship, but through clever strategy, loyalty, and sometimes a little fear. People followed him, not only because they had to, but because they wanted to. He declared himself Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. And with that title came ambition, massive ambition. He didn't just want land, he wanted the world. Temujin's rise wasn't easy. Rival tribes kidnapped him, betrayed him, and tried to kill him more times than anyone could count. He survived winter storms, hunger, and constant attacks. And that's what made him relentless. By forging alliances, breaking enemies with strategy instead of brute force alone, and rewarding loyalty with opportunity, he became the undisputed leader of the Mongols. And he didn't just lead, he revolutionized leadership. Merit mattered more than birth. A skilled warrior could rise to general. A clever strategist could run an army. Birthright, that was secondary. He ruled with a mix of fear and respect. Cross him and you'd wish you hadn't. Serve him and you could rise higher than you imagined. The Mongol army wasn't just huge, it was terrifyingly smart. Every soldier trained in horseback archery from childhood. Every unit mastered deception, fake retreats, ambushes, feigned weaknesses. They could cover hundreds of miles in a week. Faster than messengers, faster than anyone expected. And psychological warfare, legendary. Entire cities surrendered without a fight just by hearing the Khan's name. Fear became a weapon, and Genghis wielded it like an artist. His soldiers were loyal, disciplined, and deadly. And his strategies, ahead of his time, divide and conquer, surprise attacks, lightning strikes. He didn't just win battles, he destroyed the concept of safe territory. His first big campaigns were against the Jin dynasty in northern China. They thought they could resist him. They were wrong. He used spies, propaganda, and terror to weaken them from within before even stepping on the battlefield. Starve the city, spread fear among the citizens, break the morale of the army, and then strike. Then came the Khwarezm Empire. The Shah refused to negotiate and executed Mongol envoys. Big mistake. Genghis struck with ruthless precision. Cities fell, armies were annihilated, trade routes came under Mongol control. And yet the clever ones, artisans, engineers, scholars, were spared. Work for him or don't. Your choice. Some of his most famous battles were almost cinematic. Against the Jin dynasty, Mongol horse archers circled enemy forces endlessly, wearing them down. Against the Khwarezm Empire, cities were surrounded, cut off, and then stormed. Yet skilled engineers were spared to rebuild the city stronger than before. At times, Genghis used deception so perfectly, entire armies walked into ambushes without realizing it. Retreat? That was part of the plan. Siege? That was psychological warfare. And he didn't just fight humans. The steppes, deserts, rivers, and mountains were his opponents too. Harsh climates and hunger didn't slow him down, they hardened him. Genghis Khan wasn't just a conqueror. He was a lawgiver. He created the Yasa, a code that applied to everyone, from generals to farmers. Merit mattered more than birth. Trade routes were protected, religions tolerated. Knowledge traveled freely along the Silk Road, even as his armies moved across it. He understood the value of brains and talent. Scholars, engineers, artisans. If you could help the empire, he'd keep you alive. If not, well, you'd better hope the desert claimed you first. By the time he died in 1227, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea. One man had conquered half the known world. His sons and grandsons didn't stop there. They continued to expand into China, Persia, and even Eastern Europe. Cities rebuilt, trade routes opened, cultures collided, knowledge spread. The empire was massive, diverse, and surprisingly organized, all under the shadow of a man who had started as a starving boy in the steppe. Genghis Khan died in 1227. How exactly? No one knows. Battle, illness, poison. Even in death he remained a mystery. But his empire didn't crumble. His descendants continued the conquests, expanding and connecting continents. And his impact? Immense. Trade, culture, warfare, politics. The world was forever changed. He was ruthless. He was brilliant. He was feared. He was respected. Genghis Khan's name is still spoken across the world. He reshaped continents, connected civilizations, and changed history itself. He inspired leaders, scholars, generals, and even storytellers. From the steppes of Mongolia to modern military strategy, from trade routes to governance, his influence is still felt today. He was a conqueror, a visionary, a strategist, and a survivor. He was Genghis Khan, and the world would never be the same. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient history, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and comment what historical figure I should cover next. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.